ladies and gentlemen.
Giggity. All right.
Seems quiet. Too quiet.
I'm Batman. Gotham is never safe without me. What time is it? It's 7 o'clock. Okay, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You can attach towers? Shut up. Impromptu performance this evening, which I must say was indeed a welcome distraction. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. You're very kind. This is going to be funny. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to Sunday. The weekend is almost over. Sad. But it's not all terrible, right? I mean, we get to start over. We get to try out a new week.
Honk, noise, honk, noise, 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 honk.
Hello. Kay, welcome in. Jesse waving from under a pile of blankets and pillows. Sounds nice. Gemma, hello. Thank you for the honkening. The honkening has happened. Mama House Gaming, it depends on the state of mind. You know, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong there. I would agree. For a second, I thought you were in a robe. No, just a very nice black shirt. Welcome in, Dry. Good to see you. And Mel's here, our author of the hour. Hello. Purple, I love that new emote. I really do. It's fantastic. You know me? I'm a fatalist? Is that a thing? Fate. Never heard of a fatalist before. Head cold has me under the weather and into the bed, so yes and no. But I'm here and looking snazzy there, Book Papa. Well, I'm really sorry you're not feeling well. It's going around. That much is true. It's definitely going around. It sucks. You look very nice, Atkinson. Thank you. This shirt actually was gifted to me by the one and only Mama House Gaming. Welcome in this fine evening, morning, afternoon, whatever. 'Tis spring. I call it sprinter because I don't think we can fully commit to winter or spring. So, sprinter. Happy sprinter. Gemma's a level 12 now in ATS. Nice. Doesn't take long. Just depends on how long the drive is and a few other factors like, you know, is it time sensitive? Is it fragile? You know, blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Man, I can't believe we're almost done with this book. When did that happen? I have no idea. Oh, before I forget, because I put them on my desk on purpose. Johnny. Good to see you, sir. These are the 3 books that I'll be using to figure out April's what do I want to call this? Sub game giveaway? Something like that. Anyway, this book will be for the 1 sub. This book will, Oliver Twist, will be for the 5. And then the Bubonic Reorder, which we read some time ago. Actually written by a guy that's blind, would you believe it or not. This will be for the 10 and up. So it's going to be very exciting. More to come on that when we get a little closer to April. Purple. Thank you so much for gifting Jesse a sub. That's amazing. Thank you, Purple. That's very kind of you. And now I need to spin the wheel. Because we're still in March, wheel spin gets ×2, which reminds me I need to do some of those workouts before we start reading. Dry says, thanks to you, I went to a used bookstore. I now have a book to read. Now I have a lot to read. Now I have to learn to read. Hey, Dry, that's amazing. I'm so glad you ventured out and you grabbed something that you thought was going to be entertaining or interesting, whatever, it doesn't matter. Very proud of you. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, no big deal. There's plenty more books out there. A few billion, give or take. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Step mama's mama. Ooh, streamer picks. You know what? I'm gonna add to the squats because I don't have a butt, like, at all. So we'll do 10 of those. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay. Yes. Oh, let me let's get in the here's your moon puzzle. Lunar eclipse. All right. It's workout time. I owe 20 squats, push-ups, hammer curls, regular curls. I'm going to be dying before we even begin. So I'm going to start there. Okay. And then we'll get into the book. You've got the first step. Step 2 is getting some tea. Step 3 is comfy spot. Step 4 is know everything else around you. Dive into the universe. Yes. Jesse understands the flow. The flow. All right. Don't judge my workouts. Ugh. Some of it's going to be difficult to see because there's this like curtain thing behind me. But I'm going to start with push-ups. Then we'll do squats, and then I'll do the arm stuff. One. Okay, I have to remind myself. 20 hammer, regular, and then 10 curls. Okay. 2 more. Whew. Thank you. Thank you. I'm fine. Oh, God. Whose idea was it to double? That person is stupid. Oh, wait. That was me. Why? So dramatic, Purple? Don't tell me how to live my life. Oh, okay. And a hydrate? That's a fantastic idea. Now that I'm all hot, let's wash it down with some tea. Ooh, that's good. That's good tea. All right. Now, before we start reading and marbling, I want to shout out my mods. Maybe. Any day now.
Swamp backseat.
There we go.
Because I don't do puzzle games. You guys know this.
She doesn't do puzzle games. You should know this by now. Oh, Johnny, you still here? I understand. I feel the rage sometimes. I do. I get it. Johnny, if you're still here, let me know. I said I would show you my tattoo, and I forgot last time I streamed, so. Thought I'd show you now. Too stupid for puzzles? You are not. Don't say bad things about yourself. If you start saying bad things about yourself, your brain will believe them, and then they become truth. So say nice things about yourself so that those things can become truth. Cody, without even saying hi, has asked me to smack myself with a book. Wow. I did it. Okay. If someone sees Johnny, let me know. I owe him a tattoo redeem. That's how you say hi. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone that's 18 and older, welcome in. I saw the honk was already used, or I would have done that. That's fair. I guess, options are limited. Yeah. Chapter 43. Page 324. It's just blowing my mind that we're at this point already. I also forgot to start our marbles game. How dare. How dare. All right. I'm changing the laps from 5 to... not 56. Good God. We'll be here all night. From 5 to 6, just because I like even numbers. Exclamation point play to erase your marble. Okay. In the meantime, play, Gemma. Play. There you go. In the meantime, I'm going to read to you. It is my pleasure to read you this story. Please sit back, relax, or unless you're Jesse, lay back, relax. And let's see what happens in our book here. After I yawn. All right. Chapter 43. The day passed quickly despite the early start. The cabinets were in, the hardware was on, and the appliances were installed. Yes, it's a great feeling. Excuse me, gosh. Now that the cabinets were set, the small crew measured for countertops, and Sam and Riker did some touch-up work on the trim, the toe kick, and the moldings. They knocked off late for lunch, and Riker went in search of Bree. He found her in the studio, hard at work, Zyla asleep at her feet. "Hey, beautiful," he said, rapping on the frame of the door that stood wide open. She was dressed simply in a faded navy t-shirt and worn jeans. Her short hair hung loose, falling around her face, framing it. Her feet were bare. Gosh. I'm so sorry. Obviously, I should not have done those workouts. Her feet were bare, and one foot bounced slightly in time to the beat of the country song playing in the background. She looked up at him and blinked, then smiled. "Hey, yourself." He shook a brown bag at her. "Want to share my lunch?" She eyed him suspiciously. "Okay, what's up?" Why does something have to be up? He came closer and perched on the edge of her desk. "Can't I just come up here and check in on you?" Gosh, we're doing this again with the yawns? I honestly felt like I was doing so well. Obviously not. Oh, stepmama's mama's in the lead. But will she stay there? You can, but... But what? But you didn't call me champ. Or even Bree, for that matter. You called me beautiful. Because you are. He leaned in and brushed her lips with his teasing, tempting. He eased back and gave her a sly smile. There's more where that came from. Want to take a break and sneak off somewhere? As tempting as that is, I'm working and thought you were too. Work, work, work. You sound like Sam. I want to play. His hands traced down her arms, resting on her hands. He took them and pulled her up and into him. He locked her between his legs and laced his fingers at the small of her back. You take my breath away every time I look at you, he said casually, and had the instant satisfaction of seeing her blush. Now you're really overdoing it. His hand slipped up her arm and caressed the side of her face. She pressed her face into the warmth of his palm. I'm not doing nearly enough where you're concerned. He looked deep into her blue eyes that shimmered like pools and almost drowned with longing. You're coming to the Shark Shack tonight, aren't you? Sam said he mentioned it to you. He did. I thought I would, but I don't want to leave Zyla home by herself. Not after what happened last time. She looked down at the sleeping pup, who had worn herself out on their long walk. She had splashed in the water, raced after a ball, and chased seagulls until she was too tired to walk back up the yard to the house. The vet said she was fine, but Zyla was tiny to start with, and the poison had taken its toll on her small frame. She looked too thin. Sometimes her legs trembled, and she quickly tired. Oh my god, Purple. Oh, those are great. Love it. Riker didn't give her a chance to back out. We can go together. I'll pick you up at 7. Well, I'm glad you are. They look great. They really do. Oh, gosh. So sorry. He didn't want Bree alone. Cops driving by and a small helpless puppy were not enough protection. Too many things had already happened. He wasn't taking any chances. Didn't you hear me? I'm not leaving Zyla. I heard you. Trust me. I have that covered. One thing at a time here. You haven't heard from Cage again, have you? He asked, concerned. Stop that. I can't help it. I'm sorry. See? No, I haven't. Maybe he's given up? I told you I called the attorney, right? And I refused the money. Riker nodded. So, chances are we're worried about nothing. Have you signed the papers yet, giving up your right to the money? Well, no, but... But nothing. He is still out there. And still after you. Money or not, he's fixated on you and won't quietly slink off into the shadow of the Black Moon quietly. He's gone too far. Invested too much time and energy into harassing you. Good job. Next map. Forced to hydrate, another good idea. You're just full of good ideas today. 60 seconds on the clock. I will gladly accept some tea. It's got some good caffeine in it. So tasty. Bree tried to ignore the slight tickle of fear that started to build in the pit of her stomach. You're wrong. He only wants the money. Once he has that, he'll leave me alone. You'll see. I hope you're right. He had his doubts. I can see she did too. There was fear in her eyes. She masked it well. But he could still see it, feel it, shimmering just below the surface. He let it go for a moment, reaching for his sandwich. Since you seem like you don't want to play, we might as well eat. Come on, before Sam texts me that I'm taking too long. He unfolded the bag and pulled out a sub, a bag of chips, and an orange. Riker handed her the orange. Can you do the honors? Sure. Bree peeled the orange while Riker split the turkey sub. I think we'll be finished here around 5. Thought I would go home, shower, and then come back for you. Bree handed him a slice of orange. I'm not leaving Zyla, she said, popping one in her mouth. The puppy raised her sleepy head, hearing her name. Deciding it wasn't worth it, she lay back down. Riker acted like he hadn't heard her. And pack a bag, 'cause tonight you're staying at my place. She bristled. I don't think so. I'm perfectly fine here. I won't be told what to do like a child. Riker knew she would resist. He was prepared for it. You don't have a choice. I already put Zyla's bed in my truck, along with the crate, her food, and some toys. From now on, you'll be with me 24/7 until Cage is caught. Do you think you can just decide that? Or decide just like that? She asked in disbelief. Don't think I don't know what angle you're playing here. You're trying to scare me into your bed. She stood so she could distance herself from him. It won't work. I'm not going to sleep with you. He chewed thoughtfully. You will. Riker looked her square in the eye. Maybe not tonight, but somewhere down the road. I won't force you if that's what you're thinking. I don't play that way. I care about you, and I'm going to protect you until this thing is over, like it or not. He stood now too. And I know you don't. You're afraid, and you have every right to be. But I'm telling you, I'm in this for the long haul. He put the wrappings of the sub in the paper bag and snagged another slice of orange. I'm not going anywhere, Bree. His phone chimed. He glanced down at it, frowning. Damn it. Except maybe to another job site. Looks like Sherry needs me to check something out for Linda. She says it's urgent. Okay, we all know that's suspicious, because, Linda's a little tied up right now. His phone chimed again. Here's a text from Linda, too. Must be important. He dug his keys out of the worn front pocket of his jeans, selected a key, and worked it off. Riker reached for Bree's hand and, before she could protest, placed it in her palm. Just in case I don't get back in time to meet you. He approached the little pup that had woken up, bent down and petted her. Her jaws stretched wide in a yawn. See? Even the puppy's yawning. Okay. We're poised. She nuzzled Riker's hand, loving the attention. And as some added insurance to ensure you'll come, I'm taking Zyla with me. I'll drop her at my house where she will be safe. You can enjoy the evening and the music without worrying about her. Bree eyed the key in her hand. And what am I supposed to do with this? She held it up between two fingers like it was poisonous. He flashed a grin that creased his entire face. Disappointed I am that you know not what you hold. You use it to unlock a door. Not just any door, mind you. My door. I'll have you know, that has been a highly sought-after item over the years. And you, my dear Bree, are the first to ever acquire it. Use it wisely. His humor was lost on her. By wisely, you mean to let myself in and make myself comfortable, correct? Something like that. He almost added that it was also the key to his heart, but couldn't quite make himself go that far. Some things needed to be said in the soft, romantic moments to be truly appreciated. And this wasn't one of those. Linda texted again, urgent, in all caps. Look, I gotta go. If I'm not here at 7, go to the shack without me. I don't want you here alone. I'll be fine. He snagged her and pulled her in close. You're more than fine. But I want you safe. He kissed her again, long and hard. Riker pulled back, looked down into her pretty face, and couldn't remember what it had been like before she came into his life. He asked as nicely as he possibly could. Promise me? That's all I ask. Please? She relented, nodding. With one last kiss, he released her and returned to the dog. Okay, then I will meet you there if I'm not here by 7. He scooped up the little Cocker Spaniel. Zyla will be safe at my house, and you have a key if you feel the need to check on her ahead of time. Before she could protest, he turned and disappeared down the stairs, her puppy tucked safely in his arms. And there's a break in the story, because we're moving on time and place. We all know some bad stuff's gonna go down, because Linda ain't texting anybody. Nope. Ooh. Good tea. Sherry stood outside the rental house and waited for Riker. The wind had shifted slightly in the last hour, and the air had a cold bite to it. A shower had passed, leaving everything wet. She hugged herself inside her sweater and hoped Riker hurried. She should have opted to wait for him in the car. If he's not here in the next minute or two, I'll go back to the car, she told herself. But to her relief, he pulled up. Mad Locust. Bedtime story. Yay. Indeed. And I think some shady business is going to go down here, because apparently Linda is sending text messages, but Linda has been captured, kidnapped. Linda isn't texting anybody. Hey, Sherry, Riker called, getting out of the truck. Hey, yourself. What seems to be the problem? She shrugged. I'm not sure. Linda just texted and said we needed to get over here ASAP. I'll just grab my toolbox out of the back. Sherry unlocked the front door. Water gushed out as the door swung outward. The living room was flooded. Oh my, Sherry exclaimed, doing a little dance to keep her shoes from getting wet. What in the world happened? A pipe might have burst somewhere above, Riker said, looking up as water drained from the ceiling. Stay back. You're gonna get soaked. You don't have to tell me twice. These are brand new boots. Poor Sherry. Sherry exclaimed. Riker chuckled and scooped her up out of harm's way. Can't have a shoe emergency. He carried her down the stairs and to her car. Go back to the office. I got this. Are you sure? She leaned over and examined her new suede boots, tisking a little as she noticed a few drops of water. I paid full price for these, too, she pouted. No sense ruining perfect boots. Why? I'm sorry. Can someone that's not a guy, or maybe even if you are, can someone explain to me why you would buy boots that you know have the potential of getting wet because they're on your frickin' feet? Why would you buy boots that you don't want to get wet? I'm a bit perplexed there. Aren't boots made to get wet? I mean, not made to, but like designed so that if they do, it's not a big deal. It's like me saying, my raincoat, oh God. Because they look good. No other reason needed. I got a new umbrella, but I don't take it out in case it gets wet. That actually reminds me of a literal incident that happened, a conversation between my wife and I. She was wearing a raincoat because we knew it was going to rain, but she decided to stay out of the rain because she didn't want to get wet. That is why you're wearing a raincoat. I have a pair of suede boots. If it's wet outside, I don't wear them. Same thing with the car. People collect cars, some collect shoes. Okay. I don't get it. I personally collect unicorns and gnomes. See? I bet you don't mind if they get wet, though. Especially the gnome. Anyway, little tangent there. Back on track. Sherry beamed. Riker, you're my hero. She reached up on tiptoes and placed a kiss on his cheek. She battered her lashes at him. I'll see you later at the shack. I have maybe 10 pairs of shoes at most. God, that's more than me still. You wear tennis shoes 24/7? Me too. I mean, like, they're nice tennis shoes, but if they get wet, oh no. I don't care. Anyway. You bet. Be there as soon as I get this cleaned up. Maybe you'll take me home after. She let the invitation linger in the air between them. He waited for a beat and contemplated the offer. He would have been tempted a few months ago and probably wouldn't have even hesitated. But now, things were different. Bree had changed that. Now, all he wanted was her. Sherry, I'm sorry, but I can't. I also mostly wear tennis shoes. Yeah, because they're just good shoes. They work in all kinds of situations. A flicker of disappointment raced across her face. Can you at least tell me why? I thought maybe we had a little thing, but I might have misinterpreted. There's someone else. Would that be Bree? How did you know? I've seen how you look at her and act around her. Look, I'm sorry if I led you on. No worries, Riker. To say I'm not disappointed would be a lie, but I'm a big girl with new boots. I'll be fine. He laughed. They're fine boots. I am sorry. Still friends? Always. He leaned in and hugged her. Okay, I know he didn't laugh like that, but I couldn't help but do it. Tasty. I'm going to say that every time I take a sip. She was the first to break the connection as tears filled her eyes and threatened to fall. She climbed into the car without looking back at him and drove away. Riker went back into the house, shaking his head, feeling like a cad. Sorry he had hurt her. Slogging through the house toward the kitchen, he stopped in disbelief as water poured over the edge of the kitchen sink and sprayed in the air from the faucet. Water dripped from the ceiling and the walls. Within seconds, Riker was soaked as he turned off the water. He looked around. What a mess. He texted Sam and asked him to have one of the guys bring over the wet dry vacs and their industrial-sized fans Having sent the text, he set to work. And there's a break in the story. So I'm just going to take a wild guess here and say that this water mishap is simply just a diversion, right? So that our real estate agent friend, stalker Greg, can access Bree without him around. Because if we remember from last time, he was getting very annoyed that, well, he was always there. He didn't like that one bit. Okay, break in the story, and looks like we're on to Savard. Savard sat down, exhausted. He smiled at seeing his beautiful wife asleep in the bed, his newborn son snuggled in beside her. It had been a long day. It had been a long, slow process for her, and the labor was intense. Of course, it was Greg. I'm always the bad guy. Poor Locust. Maybe if you change your name to Good Locust Rising or Happy Locust, I don't know. I'm just reading the words, man. Don't shoot the messenger. So intense, he didn't feel like childbirth classes had prepared him. He'd felt stupid with the whole breathing thing. The had made him lightheaded, as they would anybody. The sight of all the fluids and the head crowning made him more than a little nauseous, but somehow he managed to stay on his feet and watched his child enter the world. Whole and perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, a nose as cute as a button, jet black hair, and a dimple in his chin. He was small and perfect. Savard couldn't have been prouder. He leaned back in the recliner and closed his eyes, content and happy. He succumbed to a light slumber when he felt his phone vibrate in his back pocket. He was tempted to let it go, but suddenly realized he hadn't thought about work all day except for the brief text he had dashed off to kill Patrick in the wee hours of the morning. Easing out of the chair, he tiptoed across the room in the hallway. He answered, "Savard, tell me you've had that baby by now?" He smiled at the sound of Kilpatrick's voice. "Yep, he's here. All 5 pounds and 4 ounces of him. Head full of hair and a healthy appetite. Little Joey." Kilpatrick laughed in his ear. "Lord help your wife if he's anything like you. The question, though, is whether he is the mailman's baby. We know he didn't get any hair from you." That's funny. Savard ran a hand over his shiny bald head as he walked and grinned despite himself. "Funny guy. What's up? I know you didn't just call to ask about the baby." "Yeah, sorry to bother you on such a special day and all, but we have a situation. I'm not sure if or how it would connect, but I wanted you to know right away. Tina Vincent from Coastal Realty has disappeared. Her husband Chuck reported her missing a few hours ago." Dun dun dun. Where is my mouse? There it is. The Brick. That is the next race. I don't know why this one's called a brick. It's like anything but. But, you know, whatever. Exclamation point play to win the race. Or at least try to. Savard ducked into an empty waiting room and closed the door. What makes you suspect that she's missing? He hasn't talked to her since last night. She was working late, which is normal if he is out of town. Tina told her husband she would stop and get some soup for a sick friend, drop it off, and check on her. Who was the friend? Linda Lawyer, owner of Coastal? Friend and co-worker home sick. That doesn't sound unusual or of great concern. No, but the fact that he didn't hear from her later is. They always call each other and say goodnight no matter how late. Brett Thorne. What's up? So, Tina stopped by, maybe fell asleep on the couch taking care of her sick friend. It happens. Not to them. The husband's beating himself up because he didn't press the matter last night or have someone go over and check on her. It seems she never made it home. When he got home this afternoon, the house was exactly how he left it. He was the last one to leave yesterday. Found the house empty. His newspaper and his coffee cup still on the table where he left it. Apparently, Tina is a clean freak. She would have never left those things out. He called into work, and they said she hadn't been in all day. And they hadn't heard from her either, except for one short text in the morning saying she was ill. Work didn't question it? No. They knew she was stopping by Linda's. They just assumed she got whatever Linda had. Funny thing is, Chuck, the husband drove past Linda's. The house is quiet. The shades are drawn and the doors are locked. He swore no one was home, which had him puzzled because Sherry, the receptionist, said Linda had texted her late this afternoon, still ill. Why would Sherry lie? Maybe she's not. Maybe Linda is texting her. Or maybe someone has her phone and is using it to make it look like it's Linda. Could be. Find out what kind of car Tina drives and put out a missing report on her. Savard rubbed his head and thought about what he had found out last night. Garth Snader's face floated through his thoughts. Where are you? He asked Kilpatrick. Well, I'm at the station. Why? Get me Linda Lawyer's home address and meet me there in 30. Something about this isn't right. And that's the end of the chapter. Oh boy. It's a good thing we've got a detective that has a clue, because he can tell something smells funny. It's not my tea, though. It smells amazing. Oh, boy. So, a lot kind of happened in that chapter. We've got Riker fixing a problem at a rental, or someone's house at least. Savard and his wife had their baby. And now all of a sudden, people are reporting that folks are going missing. Not a good day. I half expected for Riker to get knocked out or something. But I think he really just wants him out of the way, because we know based off of what we've heard about Riker that he's a strong guy. He's, he works in construction. He's the suave, je ne sais quoi. He's that kind of guy. So he's not gonna just, no one's gonna go after him unless they know for sure they can knock his ass out. But yeah, I had wondered if they were going to try. Something smells funny? It's just red. I mean, it is interesting that red shows up and all of a sudden things get a bit weird. It's my cologne. It's called Comedy Gold. Your new fragrance at Macy's. The fragrance destination. And all of a sudden, red's starting to win races. Kinda sus. Just saying. Just a touch. Hey, Red, I got a question for you, actually. You ever planning on streaming again? Just curious. "60 seconds on the clock." You would like to. That's great. I would like to be a millionaire, but I'm not. Are you going to? Is there a plan? Or is your schedule just so all over the place that it's like, it's just not a thing? And I'm not, in all, all jokes aside and all that, I'm not trying to like make you feel bad or pressure you or anything. I'm just genuinely curious because you're a funny guy. We like hanging out with you. And, we miss you, buddy. So, in a matter of few words, fucking figure it out. My schedule's all over the place, but I'm getting more consistently in the mornings. Okay. That's good. Cody thinks you're okay. If that continues, I can start streaming in the evenings. Hey, even if it's just once a week, you know what I mean? It's good to see the people. That's high praise coming from Cody. Well, I mean, take what you can get. Can't be too nice to Red. That would be weird. Yeah, I mean, status quo and all. All right. Chapter 44 starts on page 334. I've set a precedent. Can't start being nice to him now. Atkinson, I think it's your armpits that smell because of the exercise. Wow. You know, you think you know somebody. Unbelievable. Cody may not walk the walk, but she can talk the talk. Whoopsh. I feel like I'm gonna need more tea. Anyway, chapter 44. Pleasure seeing you all again, as always. Just wanted to reiterate that. I love our time together. Reading a good book, hanging out. Oh, shoot. Red, I don't know if you saw this, or Gemma, but I found something to help with the whole monitor issue with the lines and the blurriness and all that. Or not the blurriness, but like the thick black line because of the bezel of the monitors. I searched high and low, far and wide to find a monitor that had an infinity edge, but it just doesn't exist unless you're a Samsung TV that is 55 inches and costs like $2 or $3 grand. So I just happened to stumble across a YouTube video, and they're like, "Don't worry, we're going to take care of those bezels." And I was like, "You are? Say more." And that's when I learned about these strips. So God, I hope they work. Earlier, my friend told me another friend of ours was coming from my ankles, then said, "You don't need them anyway." He stopped and was like, "I can't believe I said that." And I told him not to apologize for art. Okay. I'm going to read now. Chapter 44. Bree got the text a little after 6. Riker wasn't going to make it by 7. Sam was gone, and so was the rest of the crew. The house was quiet, and she longed to hear Zyla's little feet pad across the floor. She debated what to do. Should she pack a bag and stay at Riker's? Or should she skip going to the shack and just get Zyla and snuggle down with her in front of the television for the evening? Bree replayed the conversation with Riker and cringed, realizing she had promised. Bree seems very, unsure. I mean, granted, she's going through some very weird and unhealthy situations at the moment with the whole stalker thing and, reliving the family stuff and this whole will, inheriting money that shouldn't be hers, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to Riker, man, she is she's neither yes, she's neither no, she doesn't really know. You know? Okay. I mean, I don't know. Mel knows, she wrote it. But anyway, moving on. Pulling a bag down from the closet shelf, she carried it to the bed and stared at it. What was she doing? Was she crazy? She wasn't crazy. She was in love. She paused. Could she really be in love with Riker James? Her heart lurched at the revelation. That scared her just about as much as Cage. Bree circled around her bag like it was a snake coiled up and hissing, ready to strike. Should she? Shouldn't she? She paced and bit her thumbnail. If she went willingly, what would that say? Did it say she was needy? Desperate? Did it say she was scared to be alone? Or did it simply say she was being smart and protecting herself? She told herself it was the latter. Wanted to believe it. Had to. I personally think she's overthinking the hell out of it. Just do what makes common sense. Begrudgingly, she started to pack. Nothing sexy, she told herself. Basic comfort clothing. Basic hygiene needs. Make a list. She smiled to herself. It had actually been a few days, maybe even a whole week since she had felt like she needed to make a list. Toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant. She stopped. I should take a shower. Shave my legs? In case what? In case I end up in bed with him? Ah, damn it. Also, there's an ad that's about to start. I'm snoozing that. There's a break in the story coming up, so we'll do the ad then. Midget! See, my wife is here as well. Rolling along slowly, it looks like. Hi. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen your face in for freaking ever. How are you? She cursed herself and Riker. What was he doing to her? She was a strong, independent woman. Well, she had been before the accident, before the loss of her family. She was becoming one again. How dare he interfere with that unknowingly? Bree went into the bathroom and turned on the shower. She stripped, leaving her clothes in a pile, and then adjusted the tap. She scrubbed her head and washed her body. She then stared at the damn razor. Hating herself, she reached for it and shaved her legs. Stepmama's mama, good job. Finished, she toweled off. Suddenly, it hit her. Maybe she should take all the sexy stuff. Torture the man while she did everything in her power to keep him at bay. That would serve him right. Yeah, because that's going to end well. Oh, that's funny. So funny. Happier, she started to pack her bag, then stopped. She owned absolutely nothing sexy. She stood mortified. She couldn't be sexy to torture him even if she wanted to. Ultimately, she reached for clean and comfortable anyway, leaning towards cute. She sighed heavily as she zipped the bag shut. Who was she kidding? Riker didn't think of her that way. He looked at her just as another notch on his bedpost. Which is fine, she told herself. I can't love anyone anyway. That's how I lose them, by loving too much. I won't have anything happen to him, whether he loves me or not. I simply couldn't bear it. She'd go to the shack, have something to eat, mingle a little, because she promised she would. She'd even go to Riker's, sleep on the couch a couple of days, just until the black moon was over. Then she would take Zyla and go home. She only had to get through the weekend. Tuesday, she would sign the papers releasing the money, and this whole scary mess would be over. Or would it? There's the break in the story. I'm going to run the 2-minute ad so we can get that out of the way. And next map. Huh. So, I really enjoyed that scene, to be perfectly honest. Because for the first time, I feel like we actually found Bree in this conflicted place. It's just her talking to herself, thinking things through, talking out loud, trying to figure it out. And, you know, she's got all these mixed feelings. She's confused, but yet, like, trying to come to this realization of how she actually might be feeling. And so I had a fun time narrating that little scene because it was like, it felt like something out of a soap opera, you know, one of the good ones though. So yeah, Mel, if you can hear me, well done on that one. I really liked it. I mean, I've liked all of it so far, but there was something about that scene in particular that just, I thought was really cool. They see me rolling and hating. Red's leading. Cody's trying to knock his balls off. Wait, that sounds really awkward. Okay, we're just going to leave that there. But I can't roll as fast as Cody, but I'll try. You never know. This camera angle is amazing. I can't even... I can't do it. Can't even do my own emote. Well, technically it's not mine, but whatever. Cody's a lifelong professional. My wife is the best. So what does that make red? You trying to climb out of the canyon, Red? Just checking. Oh. Red got surpassed. Red is a clown, but we knew this. It's fair. It's fair. Okay. We ready to continue? Oh, I want to do a quick shout out. He was in here earlier. This guy is a hoot. Love hanging out in his stream. A book fell on my head. I can only blame my shelf. I love it. Dry, you always come in with the best jokes.
Like, they were hanging out, talking in chat. Can you repeat everything you said at 3 times speed since the start? I was gonna...
Yeah. For a second there, I thought we were going to get to see that, but then the clip stopped. That would have been hilarious. All right. Ads are over. A couple of minutes ago, actually. The break in the story has been broken. And we shall continue. As he pictured Linda tied and bound in the trunk of her car, he wondered if she was still alive. Did she lie there in the unforgiving dark and weep softly to herself? Or did she fight against her bonds, rip the flesh from her skin, and scream with all her might? Oddly, both gave him an overwhelming sense of satisfaction. Did she know it was him who had done this to her? Did she live each hour, each minute in fear, wondering if he would return? What frightened her more? The thought that he would come back, or that no one would, ever. Then he pictured Tina, feet from her friend, still and lifeless, lying crumpled at the bottom of the stairs on the cold, hard cement. Blood pooled around her head from where he had struck her. Her leg twisted at an odd, unforgiving angle. It was a shame she never knew what hit her, that he hit her, and he had taken great pleasure in it. She would never roll her eyes at him again. She would never talk down to him. It was he who had overpowered her. Wow, Greg, you a man. It made him smile to think of them, to think of both lying there, suffering, half dead in pain, in and out of consciousness, sick with fear. And oh my God, midget, you won. This race anyway. But there's more to come. Perhaps the bracket will take its toll. You have 60 seconds to join and find out. He had an urge to do one more, to do it again. He craved one more victim before he dealt with Bree Thompson, his ultimate prize. One more target. He had already set the wheels in motion. She had no idea she was being stalked, no idea she was about to suffer, and that she was the last link in his chain. His chain to capture Bree. He stood now in her house, tucked back in the corner of the dark, cramped pantry. The door cracked just enough so he could see out, watching, waiting for her to come home. Is this Sherry, I imagine? That's my guess. Adrenaline coursed through him, and he willed himself to be patient as the key turned in the lock. She entered the house and dropped her purse on the table. Her back was to him as he slithered out of his hiding place. She sensed him and spun. It was only a split second, but he saw the flicker of panic before the first blow connected with her face. Her strawberry blonde hair whipped as her head snapped. She staggered back and hit hard against the cabinets, a knob digging into her back. Sherry shrieked as he came toward her. "Please, don't!" she cried. Her knees gave out and she slipped to the floor, dizzy and in pain. "There's money in my purse. Take it. Just don't hurt me." "I don't want your money." She looked up at the sound of his voice. "You?" His glasses were gone, and his eyes were an eerie blue. Greg? Aren't your eyes brown? What are you doing? She questioned. The back of his hand connected with her face. Her lip split and her eyes welled with tears of pain as she cried out. I ask the questions. He was dressed all in black from head to toe. A tattoo of a black moon on his bicep, just below the hem of his short-sleeved t-shirt, winked out as his arm flexed. She gasped. It's you. You're Cage. She looked into his crazed eyes and fought panic. All this time? It's been you harassing Bree? But why? She stole what was mine. Took everything from me. My father, his life. He ended it because of her. And my rightful inheritance, my birthright. And tonight, I get it back. I don't understand. I don't expect you to. It's way above your pretty head. But why are you here? What do I have to do with what's happened between you and Bree? You're going to help me. I won't help you hurt her. Sherry tried to stand. It's safer on the floor. I suggest you stay there. He pulled a chair out and sat, watching her. She took something from you, too. Sherry shifted on the floor and inched back further against the cabinet. She hasn't taken anything from me. Really? He questioned. I beg to differ. She flinched as he pulled something out of his back pocket. Look at this. He held up his phone, the screen glowing with images. The first showed Riker carrying her down the stairs at the rental, taken just an hour ago. A quick swipe revealed the next, her lips on Riker. Another swipe, and there it was, a snapshot of him holding her close in a tight embrace. Each image told a story, one more incriminating than the last. How did you? She couldn't complete the thought. You followed me? She asked in disbelief. You flooded the house. He grinned slyly. Very good. For a blonde, you're not as dense as I thought you'd be. Now, let's get what we both want, shall we? Coming forward off the chair, he crouched down in front of her. I won't help you. I don't care how much you think I want Riker. I won't do anything to help you get back at Bree. She doesn't deserve it no matter what you say she's done. Fine, he sneered. If you're not with me, you're against me. His fingers grabbed hold of her hair and slammed her head into the cabinet behind her. Her world spun. He yanked her up and twisted her around, pinning her to the ground. He put his knee in her back and wrestled her arms into position while she squirmed and screamed. He wrapped a zip tie around her wrists and yanked it tight. She bucked and twisted while he struggled to do the same with her legs. Once immobilized, he crawled off of her. Tears streamed down her face. Please don't do this, she sobbed. What are you going to do? People will come looking for me. I was supposed to go with the group to the shack tonight. They'll know something's wrong when I don't show up. He dumped the contents of her purse onto the table and snagged her phone. Don't worry. I've got that covered. But I can't have you screaming and getting someone's attention. He pulled out a pocket knife and held it to her cheek, then ran it down her neck. She whimpered. I think I'll leave you alive for a while. I may find another use for you yet. He grabbed a roll of duct tape and sliced off a piece with the knife, placing it over her mouth. He left her on the kitchen floor, bound and gagged, but still alive. And that was chapter 44. Man, this Greg guy, he doesn't hold back. Oh, stepmama's mama. Look at you. Wow. That is not a big difference in time there. Like, sheesh. 34th hundredths of a second or whatever that is. I don't know. Well, this one's so eloquently named as The Track. How about that? Lap 8 of 6, the halfway point. Well, that was an intense chapter. You know, Mel, I'll credit here is due because Greg was this like super friendly, bubbly, at least that's how I played him out in my head. You know, realtor guy that's new to the job and like, I'm here to woo, you know, I'm gonna sell some houses, you know. Just the puppy kind of guy, like, you know, new and fresh and wants to be everybody's friend. High five. Psh. But then his true nature just shows up. And it is like night and day, like sun and moon. See what I did there? Sun and moon, black moon. Anyway, yeah. Nailing it. So yeah, really enjoying this Greg character. Not a nice guy. Not exactly the easiest thing to read, but very well done. Clever, thank you. I thought of it myself. Just came right out.
Honk, noise, honk.
You know, I can always count on you, Gemma. I can always count on you. All right. Just want to assess something real quick. 46 is there. Yeah. So we'll do another chapter tonight. And then I think on Tuesday, if I can get my act together and stay focused, we should be finishing the book on Tuesday. I believe. At least that's the plan. So, without further ado, chapter 45. Voices. Were those voices? Her mind was fuzzy, her throat scratchy and raw, and her eyes burned from staring into the pitch black. She heard it again. The sound was muffled, but it was a man's voice. Was it him? She shrunk back in fear. Dear God, please don't let it be him. If he opened the trunk, there was nothing she could do. There's no way to fight. Her arms and legs had long since gone numb. Wait. She heard more than one voice. Yes, she was sure of it. She tried to scream, but all that came out was a tiny squeak, almost inaudible to her own ears. She tried again, but her throat was so sore she couldn't get it out. There were too many. They would never hear her. She had to move. She had to make some noise. Tears welled in her eyes, and her body shook as she willed her limbs to move, but nothing happened. She began to panic. Would they leave without looking in the trunk? God bless it. Purple? I don't know why that scared me. It's very much in the moment. Thank you for the 200 bits, Purple. I heart you too. It was very kind of you. See, I can be an emote too. She couldn't let them. Linda knew if she were in here much longer, she would die. She almost wished she would. Is it bit time? No. What is bit time? I feel like I should. Dry. Thank you for the 50 bits. But it is not bit time. Bits are what drills use to screw stuff in or unscrew stuff, you know, drill bits. It's book time. But thank you. Lost my place again. Of course. Oh, yeah. She almost wish...
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. The car's extended warranty.
You have a book? I know. You haven't actually told me what the title of that book is. Not that you have to, but it's great that you have a book. She almost wished she would. The waiting was torturous, endless, mind-numbing. If I can only move my legs and kick the side, she thought. Linda concentrated on just her feet and willed them to move. All her energy poured down into her feet. They were so numb they burned like they were on fire. She imagined herself kicking the side of the trunk over and over again. She couldn't be sure, but she thought her legs had moved a little. Then a little more. They inched further across the black abyss until she swore she felt the tips of her toes touch the interior of the trunk. She jerked to a stop as a racket came over her head. Suddenly, she realized it was the garage door opening. She waited until it stopped, and then she plunged back into the quiet. Were they gone? Her heart wrenched. Please, God, let them still be here. She heard them go by her head, the shuffling of feet, standing and talking. She swore someone even leaned on the car. That's when she let loose. With all her might, she screamed and kicked out. Did you hear that? What? Kilpatrick asked. Listen. Savard stood still and straightened to hear. There was only silence except for a bit of street noise. I swear I heard something. I don't hear anything. Did anyone check the trunk of this car? Savard asked. I don't think so. Hear that? It's coming from inside. Pop the trunk, Savard demanded. Savard, as the lid swung up, saw a woman bound and bloody, pupils widely dilated, staring back at him. Linda? She let out a croak, barely above a whisper that sounded like yes behind the thick material stuffed in her mouth. You're safe now. I'm Detective Savard. He reached in and touched her gently on the face. I'm going to take the cloth out of your mouth. He slowly worked it out. We're gonna get you out of here. I need paramedics and something to cut these zip ties off with. Hurry! Linda closed her eyes as relief washed over her. Oh, that's it, Greg. You're done. Although I don't think she actually knows it was him. But pretty sure you're done. There's a break in the story. Tea. The night was unseasonably cool and getting colder. Bree parked at the Shark Shack and got out when Colette walked up. Hey, girl. Colette hugged her. Hey, yourself. Are you taking your purse? Bree asked, glancing at Colette's shoulder. Nope, left mine in my car. I don't want to keep track of mine either. But what about your keys and your phone? I don't have any pockets. I put my keys on a lanyard and hang them around my neck. I have an extra one in the car if you want it. Oh, that would be great. Hang on, I'll grab it.
Can we eat them? I want to bite off his head.
Only if they're bad guys, Gemma. Only if they're bad guys. If they're not bad guys, you cannot eat them. Got it? Bree waited while Colette retrieved it, tucking a credit card and a 20 inside her phone case. She clipped her keys to the lanyard, then hung them from her neck and slipped them under her little white tank top. Her cotton blue and white checked button-down was tied in a knot at her waist and covered the bulge of the keys. Ah, that's great. Now if I only had a place for my phone. Do what I do. Stick it in your bra. Bree laughed. You're joking, right? Nope. I put it on vibrate and tuck it in. Try it. Beats the heck out of carrying a purse. See? Bree watched her tuck it in and was surprised it wasn't even noticeable. How big's the phone? We're talking like a little bitty thing or like a plus? I mean, what are we talking about here? Now you. Well, I have a little less material to work with than you do, but I'll give it a try. She did as she was told and was surprised to see how well it fit. That was your question too? Works great with us big titty women. Except for money. Do not put your cash in there and then give it to somebody else. That's just not okay. All right? Okay? No. See? What'd I tell you? And with that extra shirt on, you'll never see it. Let's go. I'm starving. Colette linked her arm through Bree's and started towards the shack. I thought you might come with a hot date on your arm. Heard through the grapevine Riker's been spending a lot of extra time at your house. What's up with you two? Anything serious? Bree shrugged. I'm not sure. When I spent the night the other night, I sure got the impression he was. Was what? Serious. Colette looked at her friend's blank face and laughed. You really have no clue, do you? When Bree remained quiet, Colette continued. Serious about you, silly? Everyone but you knows it. Bra Bank holds phone, CC license. But not cash. I'm sorry, I don't care how good you look. I don't care how cool it might be temperature-wise. Nobody wants that money, okay? Put that in your pocket. And if you don't have a pocket, put it in your phone. No, cash goes in the sock? What are they teaching you? Looks at my phone. Nope, it would definitely be noticeable. Oh, God. The fact that you were considering it is the best part. Top part of the sock by the ankle. Okay, that's fair. All right, that's fine. That is a good, middle ground. Oh God, Stepmom's mama, you made me laugh. That was funny. You gonna put this somewhere? This is the plus. Glad I can amuse. That was amazing. Who knew this would be such a hot topic? I think boobs always bring out a good conversation. Just saying. Anyway, back to the story. That comment had her insides warming. Maybe he was into her more than she thought, more than she dared to hope. Maybe she wasn't just another conquest to him. Her heart did a little happy flip. When my heart does that, I usually have to go to the hospital. I have fit a plus in my bra. All right then. Well, how was it only me and Gemma in the race? Did y'all forget? There's like 5 more races after this. Or 6, whatever. Okay. They could hear the music pumping out of the building even before they got close to the back door. This is gonna be fun. Colette glanced at Bree and placed a hand on her arm. Before we go in, tell me, how's everything really? Have they had any leads in your case? Got distracted with the bra phone discussion. It happens. Bree sighed. Thank you for asking, but I don't want to talk about it tonight. I just want to have fun. Then that's what we will do. Have nothing but fun. We need to look for Sam. He said he would save a table. Colette opened the back door of the Shark Shack and music poured out. The parking lot had been full, but the party room was overflowing. Hard country twang filled the air with a bass beat that shook the ground. The tables were scattered around the edge of the great expanse of the room. Were filled. Bree and Colette looked around for Sam in the throng. He waved from across the crowded room, and they threaded their way to him. The air was warm in the room, so jackets and sweaters were off and draped over chairs. Voices were raised to be heard over the music, and drinks flowed. A mixture of people were already on the dance floor. The twang of a guitar echoed as the music died just as they reached the table. Sam stood and kissed them both on the cheek. I'm glad you guys are finally here. I was starting to get dirty looks for holding this table by myself. Colette laughed, looking him up and down. I'm sure it was more likely women wanted to join you. She glanced around. But seriously, where is everybody? Riker's still cleaning the rental house. The place is a disaster. I don't know about Sherry. She should have been here by now. Looks like we should have gotten in line for drinks. The line is a little long, but seems to be moving. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Gives me an excuse to get up and go get him. What would you like? I'll have whatever's on tap, Colette answered. Same. Be right back. Colette glanced over her shoulder and watched Sam disappear into the crowd. She grabbed Bree's arm and leaned in close. Her eyes gleamed with mischief. I think I already know the answer, but I want to make sure. Are you into Sam at all? Or are you definitely into Riker? Bree smiled. I'm just into Riker. Why? I kind of have a thing for Sam. No, really? Bree questioned, trying to feign surprise. Ha, very funny, so I'm not subtle. Line must not have been so long as we thought. Here he comes. Looks like he found a friend.
Colette nodded in their direction. Hey, Greg. Uh-oh. Greg. Bree said, accepting the beer from Sam. I didn't know you were coming. Oh boy, shit's about to go down. 'Cause girls just wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun. That's all they really want. Sorry, I'll stop. That's a terrible rendition. 60 seconds on the clock. Exclamation play to play. He took the seat next to her. Sherry mentioned it this afternoon. Pretty good crowd here already. The dance floor is crowded. Where is Sherry? Colette asked as she took the drink from Sam and made room at the table. She had to help Riker at the rental house. Something about a pipe bursting, I think. I'd guess she'd be here soon. Can't imagine they wouldn't have it under control by now, unless... Greg raised his eyebrows behind his glasses. Unless what? Sam asked, leaning in closer, unable to keep a slight tone out of his voice. What are you implying? He asked again. Greg glanced from Sam to Bree and then shook his head. Nothing. I didn't mean anything. You know, she probably just went to get changed and maybe relax a little. We've been swamped at work with Linda and Tina out sick. I'll give her another half hour, and if she's not here, I'll text her, Colette said. I see what Greg's doing, trying to play it off like Riker and Sherry. You know, just... The band rolled on into another song, setting the fast-paced mood. Lights flashed, bouncing off every surface, and bodies packed onto the dance floor. Oh, I love this song, Colette exclaimed as the crowd shifted and started to form lines. Let's dance. She grabbed Bree's hand and tugged her out of her chair towards the dance floor. They fell into line with the others and began to clap and move with rhythm to the song. It took a couple of tries, but soon both women were in sync, stomping, turning, and gliding with the rest. One song ended, and without hesitation, the band flowed into another suitable for line dancing, and the crowd carried on. By the end of the second, Bree and Colette were laughing so hard they were exhausted. When the band announced they would slow things down, they gladly returned to the table. Colette sat down next to Sam, wiggling in closer, while Bree took the chair beside Greg. The minute Bree was situated, Greg draped an arm behind her chair. She instinctively sat a little straighter, unsure of what to think of the gesture. I can't believe Sherry is missing this. She loves to dance. Riker, too. That job must have been more of a mess than he let on. It's not like either of them to miss this sort of thing. Super. Super bro. What's up, sir? How are ya? Bree felt a little twinge of jealousy course through her. What if they were together? You should text Sherry and make sure everything's okay, Bree said, trying not to overthink it. I will. I'm going up for another round. Does anyone want anything? Greg asked. He leaned over close to Bree, his warm breath tickling her neck. Can I bring you back another? She shifted slightly away from him in her seat and smiled kindly. I think I'm good for now, but thanks for asking. You are probably wanting to spike her drink. Not bad? Excellent. I hate to ask, but I'm going to ask because I care. How's the job hunt going? I'm sure it painfully sucks, but I wanted to ask anyway. He ran a hand down her arm and squeezed her hand. I'll be back soon. Sam watched the exchange while Colette texted Sherry. I think someone has a crush on you. Bree looked at him and shrugged. It's harmless, and I'm not interested. Still sucks, but I'm remaining positive. And I hope you remain that way until something comes your way, which it will. I have down days because of it, but I'm keeping the energy up and the spark lit. I can only imagine how much it sucks. I don't know if I would be in the same kind of mindset as you if, you know, I were in your shoes right now. So I applaud your mentality. I would have been, I don't know. Sam gave her a cheesy grin. Because you're interested in Riker instead? I never said that. You didn't have to. I hope Riker gets here before Greg asks you to dance. He won't. It's not like that. Sam held her gaze. I'm telling you it is for him. He's gearing up for it. He needed one more drink for a boost of confidence. But after he's finished, I'm telling you he will ask. The signs are all there. Colette glanced from Sam to Bree. He's right, you know. I've noticed before how he watches you, how he talks to you. He talks to you and Sherry too. Yeah, but not the same way he does you. He's flirting with you. With us, it's just necessary conversation. You both are exaggerating. Colette straightened. Here he comes. Nothing says I'm talking about you more than... Hi, Greg. It's funny. Greg placed his half-empty beer on the table, stood beside Bree, and held out his hand. Want to dance? Bree looked up into his brown maple syrup eyes and hesitated. Were they right? She would love to, but she can't, Sam said. And why not? Greg asked, not taking his eyes off of Bree. Because she's dancing with me. Sam stood and pulled out Bree's chair. Come on. Bree sprang to her feet and let Sam lead her onto the dance floor. Safely in his arms, Bree relaxed. Thank you. I owe you one. Sam gave her a spin out and in. He laughed. No worries. You'd do the same for me, I'm sure. Oh my gosh, I won the race. Silly me. How did that happen? Ooh, this one's called Excite Marble. How exciting it is. Shocker. Hey, if you don't like what's being sold, you better get in here and sell it yourself. Okay? 60 seconds on the clock. I totally would, she agreed. If Greg asks you to dance, I'll sweep you away. Sam laughed and spun her again. He really should be dancing with Colette. I know. I plan to as soon as Riker gets here and can keep you safe. Riker doesn't need to protect me from Greg. Maybe not, but he told me not to let you out of my sight for long tonight. He's worried about you, Bree. We all are. He thinks that this whole cage thing is about to go down. Bree shrugged, unsure. Maybe, but if Riker is really worried, why isn't he here? I'm sure he's still at the job site, or maybe needed to go home and clean up. He'll be here soon. Or will he? Bree looked at the other couples that slowly circled the floor, swaying to the music, and decided to ask, "You don't think Riker and Sherry might be..." Sam cut her off before she could finish. "I don't. He cares about you." At that moment, Bree felt her phone vibrate next to her chest. "Hang on," Sam said, letting go of one of her hands. "This is probably him." Sam dug the cell phone out of his back pocket. It's a group text from Sherry." They stood in the middle of the dance floor, heads together, while he pressed on the text message. A picture came up of Riker carrying Sherry in his arms, her head thrown back in laughter. Bree snagged the phone from Sam and scrolled down to the next picture. It was Sherry kissing Riker. A pit was forming in her stomach. She couldn't believe her eyes. Her hand shook slightly as she scrolled again to the next one. Riker holding Sherry. The words underneath it said it all. "Not sure if we're going to make it tonight." "Oh, Greg, you dirty son of a biscuit." "There has to be some explanation, Bree." "Yeah, I saw it. They're not coming." She shoved the phone back at him. "Excuse me." Before Sam could say anything, she darted through the couples on the dance floor and disappeared into the crowd. How could she be so stupid? She believed him. She trusted him. She'd even packed a bag to stay the night. And he had her puppy. How dare he could think he could stand her up and still get her into his bed later? Tears blurred her vision. Stupid. Stupid. She was so stupid. Bree pushed out the back door and into the dark, cold night. The door slammed closed behind her and cut off the roar of the band. She tried to think. Where had she parked? She walked fast down the rows of cars, thinking. She'd go directly to his house. It wouldn't matter if they were there. She'd go in, get Zyla, and walk out. Simple. He couldn't stop her. She corrected herself. He wouldn't stop her. She unlocked the door of her SUV and climbed in. She lay her head on the steering wheel and let out a sob. How could she have been so stupid? She jumped as someone rapped on her window. Sorry, Bree, Greg said sympathetically, giving her a reserved smile from behind the glass. Didn't mean to scare you. I hope you don't mind, but I saw you run out. I called out, but I guess you didn't hear me. She quickly wiped her eyes. I'm fine. I'm just tired and want to go home. Okay, if you're sure. Bree nodded. I'm sure. Thank you, Greg. I'll talk to you tomorrow? You bet. He backed up, and she stuck her key in the ignition and turned it, but nothing happened. What? She tried again. Nothing. And again, still nothing. Ah! She cried. Just my luck. Everything okay? No, my car won't start. Do you want me to call a tow truck? She got out of the car and slammed the door. I guess, but with how my night's going, I'll probably be sitting here for an hour. She choked back a sob. I just want to go home. He reached out and touched her lightly on the shoulder. I can take you home. We can come back tomorrow in the light and deal with your car. How does that sound? Are you sure? I don't want to take you away from the shack and the band. They were pretty good. I'm sure. Feeling bad about accepting, Bree hesitated. If you're sure, I am. My car's over here. Greg took her arm, guiding her in the direction of his vehicle. Ooh, that sly, sleazy, and yet ironically clever son of a bitch. there's a break in the story. Well, look at that. Super SB winning the race. Wow. You know, when Red first got in here, he won the race too. Coincidence? Guess we'll never know. Riker slogged across the flooded basement in water up to his knees, cursing to himself. How in the hell had this happened? They had finished this project less than a week ago. All that time, money, and material ruined. Wasted. Linda would have a fit when she found out. He wouldn't blame her. She probably wouldn't believe it until she saw it for herself. Hell, he couldn't believe it, and he was standing in the middle of it. There was no rhyme or reason to it. Someone deliberately went through the house, turned on every faucet, plugged every drain, and overflowed every toilet. But why? That was the million-dollar question. What was there to gain from flooding an empty rental house? Insurance money? That made no sense. Linda was the owner. She paid the insurance. She had nothing to gain by wrecking it. In fact, she had a ton to lose. The revenue from leasing out of the house, money for repairs and materials, and not to mention that her insurance bill would go sky high after this. The water had been turned off hours ago, but that hadn't stopped the water from running down the walls and seeping into the basement. He stood in the center of the room and looked around, disgusted and disheartened at what he saw. His phone vibrated on his hip. He answered on the second ring. Hello? What the hell, Riker? Glad to hear your voice too, Sam, he said sarcastically. He could hear the music blaring in the background. What's with the attitude? You're at the shack having fun while I'm here slaving away. Is that what you're doing? You sure as hell could have fooled me. What's that supposed to mean? I'm standing in water up to my knees, and you want to chastise me for having more fun than you? There was silence on the other end. If it hadn't been for the steady wail of a guitar, Riker would have thought Sam had hung up. So you're not with Sherry? What? Hell no, she left hours ago. But she sent us pictures of the two of you, kissing, hugging. You carried her across the yard. Looks like fun to me. What? I didn't... He started to deny it, but then remembered. Ah, hell. Are you telling me that didn't happen? Riker scrubbed at his face, suddenly very tired. It did. Why would she do that? And who did she send them to? Me, Colette, and Bree? Son of a bitch, Bree saw them? Yes? What were you thinking? Well, it was harmless, I swear. Sherry was here, and she was wearing new boots. She didn't want them ruined, so I carried her out so she didn't get wet. And then she kissed me. I didn't kiss her back. This doesn't make sense, though. It was just the two of us, and she didn't take any pictures. The thought crept into his mind. Had she set him up? Had someone been watching them, hoping to get them on camera so his relationship would be ruined with Bree? Would Sherry do that? He was pissed. Let me talk to Sherry. She's not here. We thought she was with you. Well, she's not. Like I told you, she left a couple of hours ago. Put Bree on. Can't do that, man. She took one look at those photos and stormed out of here. Oh, son of a bitch! Hey, I won. Riker slammed his fist into the wall, then started to pace back and forth like a caged animal. He could hear the men working above, hear the suction of the machines as the water was pulled into the tubes, guzzling, draining, drawing water from the floors. He turned and was about to go up the stairs when something caught his eye in the corner of the room, floating in the water. "Riker?" Sam questioned in his ear. "What's happening over there?" "Hold on a minute." He slogged through the water and came upon the item bobbing. He reached down and grabbed the figurine, unable to comprehend what it was. Fear snaked through him, unlike any he had ever felt before. "Where in the hell is Bree?" "I told you she ran out." Riker held up the item to the light. It was an action figure. Not just any action figure either. It was Cage Zion. In a disturbingly calm voice, he said, "If he doesn't have her yet, he will soon. This was all a setup. Cage orchestrated the entire thing. It was his plan to separate us tonight. And it worked." And that, my friends, is the conclusion to chapter 45. But you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. We still have a few races left, like 2. And I'm so intrigued by this story and how it's going right now. It's like the climax of everything. I'm gonna read one more. Is that cool with you guys? Can we do one more? Super says, "Hells yeah." Excellent. Because Mel, it's a great story. Chapter 46, page 352. "You know, he's really not worth it." "Who?" "Riker." "How'd you know I'm upset about Riker?" Bree asked Greg. "I was sitting at the table when Colette checked her text messages. I saw the photos, the ones of Riker and Sherry." "Oh, I didn't know you knew. You must think I'm stupid." Bree tried to make light of it and laugh it off, but couldn't manage it. "I don't think you're stupid." He paused. "Just gullible." The words stung, so Bree didn't answer. She just stared out the window and watched the buildings go by. They crossed over the bridge, leaving Ocean City behind. Since she didn't say anything, he went on. "A guy like that, a girl like you, it would never work. It would be best if you had someone that would appreciate you, someone who would watch you." He reached over and put his hand on her knee. "Someone like me." That got her attention. She turned and looked at him, then down at his hand resting on her knee. She tried to shift in the seat. "Greg, you and me, we would make a good couple, don't you?" His hand rubbed her thigh. "Uh-oh." She tensed. A tiny prickle of fear lodged in the pit of her stomach. She shouldn't have taken it seriously. Or wait, I missed something. She shouldn't have gotten in the car with him. Missed a complete line. Sam had tried to warn her, but she hadn't taken it seriously. Just be straightforward with him, she told herself. He'll appreciate honesty. "I like you, Greg." She reached down and lifted his hand off her leg. "As a friend, but that's all. Just a friend. I hope you understand." "I understand." He was quiet while he drove. So quiet for as long as the minutes ticked by, Bree thought that was the end of it. "You think you're too good for me? Is that it?" "What? No, of course not." His fist struck her face and ricocheted off her cheekbone. She cried out, seeing stars. Well, that escalated quickly. Don't lie to me. I can tell by the tone in your voice you're patronizing me. You think I'm an idiot. Well, I fooled you, didn't I? Who's the idiot now? She gasped in shock and held her throbbing face in her hand. Greg, I'm sorry. I'm not patronizing you. I don't know what you mean. She gulped, biting back pain. How did you fool me? He laughed a deep, cruel laugh, took off his glasses and threw them on the dashboard. All this time, and you still don't know? He looked at her in disbelief. I took you for a lot smarter than that, Bree. Look outside at the moon. Tell me what you see. She glanced outside through watery eyes and saw nothing but stars, then realized he turned away from the direction of her house. He was headed somewhere else. What do you see, Bree? Nothing but stars and a few dark clouds. There's no moon tonight. It's just before the... Her voice trailed off. Before what? There was just something in the way he asked the question that had her shrinking back in her seat. A new moon? Is that what you were going to say? That would make it the second new moon in a month. And what's that called? Do you know? Huh, Bree? Do you know? A black moon? She answered softly. Excellent, Bree. But the new moon is tomorrow. Yes, tonight it's in shadow. Your cage? She asked in disbelief, then really looked at him without the glasses. It took her a moment. Her mind flashed back to the picture Savard had shown her. In the picture, his face had been quite a bit fuller, his hair lighter and longer, and his eyes blue, but still, if she looked, she could see the resemblance easily. She cursed herself inwardly for not seeing it sooner. Why? I think you know why. You have something of mine, something that's rightfully mine. You stole it from me, and now I will take it back. Is all this about the money? She asked in disbelief. Didn't you get my messages? I left messages with your lawyer. I don't want the money. I have papers coming tomorrow. She lied. I'm signing the money over to you. You can have it. I don't want it. Don't lie to me. You want the money. Everybody wants money. Even you. How else will you pay to keep that pretty house of yours? Not with your pathetic little photography business. Certainly not. You need my money. You want my money. That's why you tricked my father into giving it all to you. I never did such a thing. His fist shot out and connected with her jaw. Her head snapped, striking the side window. Quiet! You did. You bat your pretty little eyes at him, made him feel sorry for you, and he gave you everything. Left you everything in his will that was rightfully mine. It was mine! He shouted. He cut me right out without even a second thought and gave it all to you. He grabbed the front of her shirt and shook her fiercely. He let go when he had to take a sharp curve, grabbing at the wheel. Her vision blurred and her head pounded, but she could still make out the road. She saw another curve coming up and noticed it started to decelerate to take it slow. Slowly, she reached for the floor handle. Floor handle? Really? She reached for the door handle. Bree groped in the darkness, trying desperately to find it, but it was gone. He laughed when he realized what she was doing. Give me a little more credit than that. I'm always one step ahead of you.
She hadn't made a milkshake in years, for fear that they would return.
She starts the blender reluctantly. In the distance, screams. The boys had returned. They were coming to her yard.
That's right. Bloody Greg. He's coming. I'm always one step ahead of you. I thought of everything. Thank you for playing that, Purple. I haven't heard that in a while, actually. Her heart was beating so fast she could barely breathe, and her head was pounding. It felt like he'd hit her with a 2x4 instead of his fist. She could feel her lip starting to swell just below. Her eye was puffy. She was afraid if he hit her again, she would lose consciousness. It was so hard to think. Oh boy. Final map. Good luck. She took a took. That's a new language I just made up. It's called !play if you want to race. Is Greg a smart fella or a smart smeller? Yeah, fart. Probably a fart smeller because we all do that. She took her time trying to form the right words, to say the right thing. What are you gonna do with me? He reached over and she flinched, but instead of hitting her, he caressed her face, running his thumb down the side of her neck. She cringed and her stomach did a flip. The slow, possessive caress was worse than being punched. I'm going to kill you in the shadow of the black moon, just like I planned. A wave of panic surged through her. He must have felt her tense because he smiled. But I'll keep you alive. He paused. For now. At least until the papers come through. If there really are papers. Are there, Bree? You didn't just make that up, did you, to save your ass? No, I didn't, she said truthfully. Good. Not only does your life depend on it, but so do 3 other women's. What other women? He smiled wickedly as he navigated the back roads. All signs of urban life had long disappeared. The road narrowed, and the trees thickened, encroaching across it. What if I told you I have Linda? He paused for effect. Tina and Sherry, bound and gagged in an undisclosed location. You're bluffing. Prove it. He laughed coldly. I don't have to prove it. It's my word against your conscience. It's you that puts them in jeopardy if I get caught. I'll never reveal their location. After I'm safely away and I have my money, I'll send an anonymous text to the police. I don't believe you have any of them, especially Sherry. She's with Riker. Oh, like I said, gullible. Did you look at those photos? He didn't wait for her to respond. Sherry didn't take those photos, I did. He let that sink in for a few minutes. When she didn't say anything, he continued. She left shortly after that little romantic encounter with Riker. I followed her. Let's say she didn't get far. He laughed cruelly at that. I'm the one who sent those photos from her phone. He pulled a phone out of the front of his shirt pocket and waved it. This is Sherry's. Then he dropped it back in. Linda and Tina's are in the glove box. You can look if you don't believe me. She tentatively reached forward, afraid he might hit her, but when he didn't, she opened it. There in the little compartment were 2 cell phones, like he said. She pulled one out and turned it over in her hand, pressed the button, and waited. He laughed again. Did you think I would tell you where a phone was if it worked? Both phones are dead. He turned off the paved road onto a dirt path tucked back and meandered further into the trees. With no moon, it was pitch black.
All light had been snuffed out, and the trees crowded in. Branches reached out, scratching and clawing at the car like the bony fingers of the dead. I like that line. Well done. They bumped along slowly. As he rolled down his window, she could hear the ocean's roar off in the distance. "Where are we going?" Bree demanded. "You'll see." He leaned down and pulled a pistol out from underneath the seat. "This is what the old man left me." He waved the gun at her. "You got $1 million, and I got this." He laughed and shook his head. "The irony of it is I'm going to use this gun to get back my $1 million. He made a sharp turn around an outcropping of trees, the car's light slicing across the foliage. Suddenly, a crude shack came into view. It was nestled into a hill and overgrown by climbing vines and scrub brush. It gave Bree chills to look at it. So dark you can't make out the goats in the ocean. Okay, really? That was many chapters ago. We still floating that? Okay. I see how it is. I get it. How did you find this place? He snickered. Linda. She had the property listed, and the client changed his mind. I had to drive all the fucking way out here to pull the sign. Working at Coastal Realty paid off in more ways than one. It gave me this little gem. He pointed at the shack. And it gave me complete access to you. What were the odds that I would get you as an actual client? He shut off the car, got out, and skirted the car. He wrenched the door open. Get out. Bree didn't move. I'm not going in there. The hell you're not. He yanked her up by her arm, shoving her forward. She stumbled and hit the wet ground. She felt movement inside her shirt as her cell phone slipped out of her bra and slid down her side. Her tank top was tucked into her jeans, keeping it from falling out. Bree scrambled to her feet, wrapping her button-down shirt tightly around her, and looked up into the barrel of a gun. Don't even think about running. He thrust her forward and into the shed. The place reeked of dampness and decay. Bree had to cover her nose to keep from sneezing. Inside, he struck a match and lit a kerosene lantern. Bree gasped as the flickering light filled the interior of the small, claustrophobic hovel. Her breath hitched as her eyes fell on the walls, covered in a nightmarish array of photos. She inched closer. There were hundreds of photographs. Of her. The photos were meticulously arranged, capturing snapshots of her life. There were pictures of her with Riker and Sam, but their faces had been brutally scratched out. Other images showed her alone, of her sitting by the water or walking Zyla. All right, I did my last ad snooze. Yet it was the photos taken through the window that made her skin crawl. Her stomach churned as she discovered how her privacy had been invaded. Her hand went to her mouth, holding back a sob as she saw the most disturbing ones. Photos of her naked, the grainy texture doing little to obscure the invasive clarity of each detail. Fear lodged in the pit of her stomach and started to grow. It grew so fast that a wave of nausea overtook her. He came up behind her, skimming his hand over her and through her short hair. Looks like we have a lot more in common than you thought, huh, Bree? Do you like my display? I'm a damn good photographer, aren't I? He glanced at the photos. Even better than you. Nice try, Super. He tucked the gun in his belt and shifted closer. He inhaled deeply, smelling her hair, sending a chill racing down her spine. He stroked her face and ran a thumb over her swollen lip. She flinched. I'm not sorry I hit you. You deserved it. But I am sorry your pretty face is marked up. He leaned in close and whispered in her ear, how does it feel to know that I've seen you naked? To know that I was watching when you thought you were alone? It suddenly registered that the gun wasn't in either hand. She didn't hesitate. She jabbed an elbow into his chest and stomped on his foot. He shouted and cursed, grabbing her. She punched him in the throat while he clawed at her. She slipped free and ran for the door. But that was as far as she got. Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes chapter 46. I had a feeling we were going to end on some sort of intense moment. On Tuesday, there will be a conclusion to the story in one way or another. And I cannot wait to find out what it is. Mel, I know I've said this a few times over the past however many streams, but I'm going to say it again. You have a really cool story here. The friendliness to the chilling disparity of it all, and just the flip-flopping. Sometimes that can be really hard to do, but I feel like you've done a fantastic job with it. Seriously. I know you were nervous at first. You weren't even sure if people were enjoying it, but I can tell you from what I've been told that folks really do enjoy this story, and they've told me. So, be proud. It's a great book. And you are quite welcome. All right, as far as the Grand Prix is concerned, let's see who came in third. Gemma. Third place, well done. Your book is called The Ghost from Robert Harris. Interesting. Thank you for reading. Of course. I was super glad that our mutual friend could throw it my direction. I was very happy about that. Second place, moi. Moi, the book father. Okay. So, who took first place? Let's find out. Stunt Mama's Mama. Congratulations. Well done. You did it. Me? $314 points. That's, you had 90 extra points over me. That was very well done. All right. Well, there's an ad about to start, which is really annoying. So I'm going to run the ad, and while that's running, I'm going to find someone for us to raid. My gosh, it has been fun. Let's see. First, pure dumb luck. You know what? Sometimes a person needs that kind of luck in their life. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Oh boy, who do we have online? Okay. My, so many people. So many. I think it's skill. Who knows? Maybe Stepmama's mom was like using a touchpad and helping the ball roll in certain directions and pushing it forward on the touchpad to speed up the spinning. I don't know. I don't know. To be so passé about it, I say it's skill, no? Oh boy. There's a lot of people online right now. Of course. But who shall we raid? Who shall we raid? If I did that, I would have flown off the track. Perhaps. Perhaps. You know what? We're gonna go say hi to my buddy Thump.
No, it's okay.
He's not reading, but he's a cool dude. He's a friend. I like him. Good guy. Please copy and paste this message. Pretty please. And let's go say hi to my buddy Thump. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Purple. Thank you for gifting the sub to Jesse. I see you're almost done with the puzzle. Keep going. It'll be there. I appreciate you all being here. We're gonna knock out this book on Tuesday, just a couple short days from now. We're gonna find out how it ends. I'm very excited to see. As sad as it is to finish, I'm also super intrigued to see how it all ends. Did they catch the bad guy? Does he live? Does he go to jail? Do Riker and Bree connect in the end? Oh, I don't know. So many questions. But until then, I hope you have a good week. Hope you have a good start to the week. I hope that whatever Monday brings, you can take it head on, smiling, or at least poised and ready, whatever it might be. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making my reading night as special as it is. I appreciate you all. Can't wait to be back. Until then, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and good night.